record. Okay, today we are going to talk about graphing lines from an XY table. Unfortunately, this does not have a great graph on it, so we're going to do our best with the drawings. You should have graph paper in your notebook, or you can cut the graphs out from the worksheet and tape them into your notebook. So the first thing we're going to do is checking if a point is on a line. And we do that by picking a point. Well, they'll give us a point, and you're going to check it, 2. So to check, this is the x coordinate. All coordinates are x, y. It is alphabetical order. So in place of the y, I put a 3. In place of the x, I put a 2. Now remember that these parentheses here mean times. So I check if this is true. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 does equal 3. Check. This one is true. Let's try another point. Same process. Seven does equal 8 minus 1. Check. Let's try a third one. Two times -2 is -4. -4 is not equal to -1. This is false. Or I could write not. This is a valid point, but it's not on my line. Okay, that is checking. Sometimes we're going to graph the line, and we're going to be graphing the line using an XY table. And on your worksheet, you have XY tables that look kind of like this. So you get an equation, y equals 2x minus 1. So here they put 2x minus 1. We're going to fill it in, y, and then xy. So on a lot of these, they give you some values, some x coordinates. So how do I fill it in? Well, that's 2 times 7 minus 1. That's 14 minus 1, or 13. If you can't write this in the space, well, if you're making your own XY table, so leave yourself a little space to simplify this. XY then is 7, 13. Four, 2 times 4 minus 1, that's 8. 8 minus 1 are 7. And 0, 2 times 0 minus 1, that's 0 minus 1, or that's -1. So I've got these 3 points. I'm going to do my best to draw a nice graph to help you see them. This is not a very nice graph. It's a little hard to do on a computer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to label it for 5. I only need out to 7, so. When I'm doing a graph, I can number these by, I could make each dash a 2. I'm choosing to make each dash a 1 this time. Going to 15 here. My point 7, 13. I should label x and y. I need a -1 too. So positives on the x go to the right, and positives on the y go up. I'm going over to 7, up to 13, and I'm plotting my point. I just make a dot there. Now x is 4. I go over to 4 for this one, up to 7. And this one, go over 0, so that's right on the axis, -1. And then I can't take a ruler on the screen, but you take a ruler and you connect your points and you make your line. And there's your graph. Okay. If they don't give you the x coordinates, you get to pick them. X being called the independent variable means I choose the coordinates for it. In several of these tables on the worksheet that you have to do, you are picking the coordinates. Actually, let's do a different example. Okay, so some of them do say that you need to solve for y. I'm telling you, you don't have to. So I'm actually going to do number 13 for you here. You might have to solve for y later, but you do not have to solve it for y before I plug the numbers in. So I'm going to choose points close to the origin. So I'm going to choose -2. I'm going to leave myself a bunch of space because it's going to take me a little bit of work to solve this. 0, and then I'm going to choose 3. So I'm choosing x coordinates close to the origin. It makes my life easier. So I plug them in. I don't have my y, so y stays as y. Now I'm going to simplify. -3 times -2 is +6. So this is multiplying here. The parentheses imply multiplying. To solve this equation, I must move the 6 to the other side by subtracting it from both sides. And then this is -6y, means -6 times y. To undo multiplication, I must do division. So y equals 1. My coordinates are -2, 1. Apparently did not leave quite enough room there. So I pick, as an independent variable, I get to pick its values. So I'll pick 0 here. 0 is always a nice, easy value because multiplying by 0 is 0. If -6y equals 0, that means I again divide by -6. 0 divided by -6 is just 0. So I've got, it's going right through 0, 0. Now I'm going to do 3. -3 times 3 is -9. I will add 9 to both sides because I'm trying to isolate the y. Oh, got a nice number like -3/2. That's 1.5, or it's -1.5. So my point here is 3, -1.5. Not the easiest. Apparently I should have chosen even numbers because they give me whole numbers. But I can still graph it. I'm going to graph it on the same graph I had here before, but I'm going to use a blue pen. So my point -2, 1 is right here. 0, 0 is there. 3, -1.5 is here. So that's kind of halfway between 1 and 2. Yes, you can do 0.5s on a graph. You just go halfway between the numbers. And there's my line kind of looking like that. Please do use a ruler or some sort of straight edge to get these straight. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a pen. I do have some rulers in the cabinet, and you can ask Mr. Morgan for them if you need help.